Hello everyone, my name is Emilios, your favorite VP of course, and today we're going to have a module on team building basics and alongside it some tips and tricks from the board that are going to help you with the team building process. This specific module basically, the purpose of it is it aims to act as a bridge for those of you who are a bit less experienced than the rest so that we can show you how to basically cross, let's say, the steps between being a delegate, having the perception of a delegate of what team building is, and what team building actually is from the perspective of a chair. And we're going to do so by showing you the different stages of team building, the process, and then why we're doing each thing. So we're going to proceed with that. Team building has a lot of areas. I'm going to list them right now, and I'm sure that you all know these areas one way or another. Maybe you didn't realize that you knew them, but by pointing it out, it's going to be much easier. So first of all, we have name games, which are the games that introduce people to each other. It can be simple random names. It can be name and throwing the ball, name and a song, name and a quote, name and an adjective, name plus something. So its purpose of name games is for the committee to meet each other. Following on is get to know games, where we get a bit more in depth of who these people are, basically, that I'm going to be working with for the next days. For get to know games, you're usually playing games such as Two Truths and One Lie, the Snowball Fight, or Order in Line. And yeah, get to know games are a very good way to indirectly make people in a way, force them to meet the rest of the committee. Followed on as icebreakers, and as the name says, they're supposed to be there to break the ice between the committee. Obviously, get to know games and name games can introduce people to each other, but they do not necessarily break the ice. So we have icebreakers, which are a bit more fun games. People are going to enjoy them much more, so they will feel much more comfortable with the people that are around them, such as the cat and mouse game, blip blob, or even find the leader. After icebreakers, of course, you have the infamous energizers that you all know. Their purpose is to energize everyone, and hopefully you as well as a chair. And ideally, the energizers are something loud, there's something vocal, there's something that make you very, very active. Energizers are the great big moose, for example, the jellyfish, hi, my name is Joe, countdown, and bananas, which are a great game, absolutely love. And as I've said, energizers are the games that allow you to put more energy in, as Razvan is going to talk about other energy management as well. And then we have problem solvers. So, as the word says, once again, they're games meant to be problems that need to be solved. They lead to increased cooperation and increased team building, basically, within the team, because they're forced to work together. Such games are the multi-legged monster, the human nod, any kind of quiz that you wish to play with the committee, or even the minefield. And after problem solvers, we have something similar, which are conflict games. Conflict games do not really have a solution. They mostly touch upon opinions and perspectives of other people so that there can be a conflict. And I'm going to explain very, very soon why we're using them as well. Conflict games can be games such as Abigail, Broken Train, Kill the Celebrity, or even The Deserted Island. And then we have trust games. Trust games, once again, as the word says, I suppose we're not very creative with wording in EYP apparently. It's games that help you to trust people more. They put you in a situation where you either trust someone or you don't play the game, basically. And such games can be the finger raise, where someone runs and everyone opens their hands and they don't have to touch them. You raise people with just two fingers, or even the drunken bottle. And so this is quite a quick overview of the types of games that we have in EYP. So once again, name games, get to know games, icebreakers, energizers, problem solvers, conflict games, and trust games. There are many variations of them, and I'm sure that someone might argue about some games that they fall into different categories, but these are the 7 basics. And we're going to discuss now why we have these categories. So if everything goes according to plan, you should hit the FIRO circle. You should see the FIRO circle here. Yes, thank you. Very good. So we have the FIRO circle. The FIRO circle is an excellent representation of how EYP works for delegates and officials sometimes, and more rather how it should work. Actually, it's where the background knowledge of the team and of team building comes in for the chair, and a chair with a good understanding and a good grasp of basic team buildings should be able to use the appropriate games to move from stage 1, I, to the final stage, us. Okay? And with LNC being one of the longest national sessions of the year, you have the opportunity to, and confidence basically of time, to be able to build upon the expected notions of the FIRO Circle. So, what is the FIRO Circle? It's a notion of team building that was produced by a man whose name I do not recall, unfortunately. It has 4 stages. The stages are the I stage, the you stage, the we stage, and the us stage. And you're probably thinking, how is that associated to team building? Well, let me explain. So, the I stage, it's the very first moment of the session for a delegate. He's scared, he's confused, and although people are friendly, a lot is going on, he's uncertain because people are screaming and there's this weird moose which likes to drink a lot of juice, so he's not very sure of what's going on. The I stage is where the delegate is within himself. He does not know anyone else, and he's not ready to meet new people. We want to move from the I stage to the U stage as quickly as possible. Before I explain how we're going to do that, I'm going to explain what the U stage is. The U stage is when that perception of just me being here shifts to, oh, there are other people here as well. So it's them, you. So it's you. It's I and you. And that takes place when we identify basically and we force people to meet each other. We do so by name games, we do so by icebreakers, and we do so by get to know games. So as soon as we reach the U stage, a bond begins to create because it's acknowledged that, oh, there are more people here actually, and they come in the picture as well alongside that individual. Then from you, the next transformation is to the we stage. It's where the we stage is where a team begins to form, basically, and it's a big transition. Because on the one hand, you acknowledge people, and on the other hand, you have to become a team with them and be more of a more solid unit together. It's an area where they all begin to bond, they feel more comfortable with each other, and here's when you want to build the spirits in a way. So some icebreakers are in order to make them have some inside jokes, some fun, some more energizers maybe, so that the whole team can be on the same levels of energy. And problem solvers are also in order here, so that they can work together towards a common goal that has a final answer that they can find. However, there is a problem with the we part. The we part is often the area of fake kindness, as we call it. What is fake kindness? When you meet someone, you're always a bit hesitant of expressing how you really feel, and that fake kindness is often viewed at the we stage. We don't want that. So in order to move from the we stage to the us stage, which is a bonded team, the we stage has to be broken down. And to break down the we stage, we have to go one step back. So that basically what we're trying to do with the delegates is crush that fake kindness for them, so that their expectations will be let down. People will show who they really are, and then we can just rebuild it once again as we wish to build the team. If we want to make a very emotional team, we can do that. If we want to build a very academic team, we can do that. If you want to build a very efficient team, we can do that. But the point is that you have to break them down before you can rebuild them. So how do we move? How do we do that? So we do that usually by conflict games, basically. Because us is the area where people are bonded and they're acting as one. They take ownership of their actions, and basically they are accountable for each other. So in order to, if you use conflict games, basically you touch their moral options usually. So games such as Abigail, people have different moral notions, and it's very likely that they're going to come to a unanimous decision very early on. And people are going to get frustrated, and you can see the dynamics within the team. Not everyone's going to be friends after conflict game, but that's where debriefing comes in, self-realization, as Kagetan is going to explain in a different module very, very soon. And basically, once you do the conflict games, although you move back a stage, because people are not going to be a team, usually after conflict games, they're going to be at we, they're going to be at you, or even I at extreme stages. It builds up quite fast from there on. A proper debriefing, some energizers, and some trust games afterwards, basically, are what shifts from we to us. And that's where the team is going to take place. And basically, that's how your team building can work from I to us. And that's one of the greatest aims of team building, to actually create a team. Okay, so this is a FIRO circle, as I've explained it. And it's nice and all, however, it should be used, not abused. Hopefully, once again, my editing skills will not disappoint me, and you can see a diagram right here. Here. Okay. Basically, before I explain what the diagram is, every individual has a comfort zone. We all have a comfort zone. It's the bubble that we feel comfortable in. For me, my comfort zone might be attending a party with 100 people and I'm alright with it. For you, your comfort zone might be staying in your room and reading a book. And anything more than that can be a violation of that comfort zone. It's very important to identify what the boundaries of each person's comfort zone are before we can break them. As you can see for the diagram, the comfort zone is a very small bubble, and the optimal performance zone is around it. So what we wish to do through team building is we want to push delegates from their comfort zone to their optimal performance zone. It's very important to take note that each individual has a different comfort zone and a different optimal performance zone. So for example, an individual who does not talk to anyone for the first half of the day, but then proceeds having conversation with other people by the second half of the day, that means he's in his optimal performance zone. So he has been growing, he's been developing, he's been progressing, he's been having progress from what he was. However, there's a very thin line between the optimal performance zone and the danger zone. This is where team building and the FIRO circle can be abused, basically, if you try to force things too quickly. So let's continue with the example of the individual delegate. If that person who just started talking to people is forced to play a game, a very touchy game, such as the coin game. The coin game is where you put a coin on someone's chest, and then people have to literally sit on the top, then change so the coin can be passed on. It's a very intimate game. That individual might go back to his comfort zone after that game, so he will leave the optimal performance zone, go back to your comfort zone, and that will be much, much harder to make the individual come out of their comfort zone, because the danger zone can bring reverse results and can actually have catastrophic effects sometimes. However, we want to evaluate each person individually. Each individual is different after all. So what we want to do is try to push everyone to their optimal performance zone as much as possible, but not too much. So this has been the module basically on the basics of team building. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any kind of questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or any other of the board members, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Have a great day, and I'll see you all. What's the date? I'll see you all in 23 days.